So let's do a case here. So we have a male that's 5'10". He was intubated for hypercapnia and altered mental status. He's 155 kilos. And so what is his ideal body weight? So how do we do that? The first 5 feet, he's a male, so he gets 50 kilos. He's 5'10", so additional 10 inches times 2.3 kilos, 73 kilos is ideal body weight. So what do we want to set his initial tidal volume at? 73 times what? Times 4, 6, somewhere in that range. Let's go low and do 4. That gives us a tidal volume of 292. That sounds pretty small, a small tidal volume. So the minute ventilation there, maybe like in the 6 range, but that's what we're going to start with. So, and just imagine there's almost 2 of him inside that body. He's almost got 2 ideal body weights inside there. So we're actually ventilating the ideal body weight because the lungs don't get obese when the body gets obese. We still got the same size lungs. Okay, so now let's set a rate. Now, what if you have a patient that's breathing 32 times a minute before you intubate him? What should your initial vent rate be? We'll make it multiple choice. Should it be 12 or should it be 22? 22, because in the default for RTs, they're going to set the rate at 12 on about every patient. And so that's a clean kill in some settings, particularly aspirin overdose, because, or even status asthmaticus. They're breathing that fast because they're trying to blow off the acidosis in some cases. If you set them at a rate of 12, you could precipitate cardiac arrest. So rate 12 to 25, let's say PEEP, a minimum of 5. Would you use a PEEP of 5 on this obese patient? More, right? Right, because you've got the pannus, you've got that weight, you need to have more PEEP to stent their airways open. So let's say this is our initial setup. We rounded up to 300 for the tidal volume, we set a rate at 18, pressure support at 20, PEEP of 15, and FiO2 60%. He was intubated for hypercapnia, not hypoxia. All right, so you get your first ABG, and here's what it shows. So the SATs are 94%, and are there any of our goals that we're not meeting?
pH and CO2.
Yeah, so we're too acidotic. We want to be at least a pH of what?
7.20.
7.2, okay. So what changes, what are our options? What can we change to get to our goal pH? Right, volume or the rate. So here is this awesome formula that makes you look like you can predict the future. And basically, you take this formula here. So the answer is going to be what you turn your rate to. And it's going to get you to your goal pH in 30 minutes. And so basically, it's super simple. You take your current PCO2, which is what? 78. Times your current rate. What do we set our rate at?
22.
I think 18. And then what do you want your PCO2 to be? What do you want your target to be?
35.
35? Well, that's pretty aggressive. How about, maybe 50, 40, something like that. So you put that number in, do the calculation, and now that gives you your new rate. So 78 times 18 is divided by 50 gives us a new rate of 28. So we could take that vent, turn up to 28 with that tidal volume, and all other things being equal, in 30 minutes our pH would be 50. Okay? Excuse me, our CO2 would be 50. Now, are we happy with a rate of 28? Not really. We like a little bit lower number. So how do we know how much to increase our tidal volume to lower our rate? How do we figure that out? So you figure that out by calculating the minute ventilation. So the rate's 28. That's 28 times 300. That's what our minute ventilation would be. So at our desired setting, we'd end up with a minute ventilation of 8.4 liters. So now we just need to take 8.4 liters and divide it by the rate that we're comfortable with, and that'll give us our tidal volume. So you take your 8.4 liters, divide by 450. So that gives us 18.6, a rate of 19. So we're happy with that. We like 19 and 450. So we change the rate from 18 to 19. We take the tidal volume from 300, increase it to 450, and in 30 minutes, the PCO2 should be 50. and then we can do a gas, and if we want to get the PCO2 even lower, we use that same formula to figure out what our new rate is, or figure out the minute volume divided by the rate to get our new tidal volume. So really simple calculation. Now when the RT hands you an ABG, you can basically do some simple arithmetic and make a very finesse vent change that's going to get your patient to your desired goal in 30 minutes just with that one little technique there. Now there are some variabilities, you know, if there's high pressure or if they can't tolerate 450 or if they start breath stacking or things like that, and we'll talk about that when we get to alarms. But in general, most patients, you take the ABG, you plug those numbers in, you make the change, and your ICU doctors will be impressed. Any questions on that?